I'm trying to break myself out of my freestyle rut by learning a new style of freestyle that's completely different from anything I've done before. It's called Sbang, and it looks something like this. Insert little freestyle clip of some Sbang. This is part 2 in the series. If you want to see all the videos in the playlist, it's linked down in the video description. There will probably be 30 of them eventually because, 30 days of Sbang sounds good, right? It's a good metric. I want to catch you up a little bit on something that's changed since last time. Number one, I'm flying a different quad. This is the Chris Rosser AOS 5 Bind and Fly from iFlight. I just did a review of it, and it was just at hand when I went to fly today. The other thing I want to point out is rates. In the last video, I turned my rates up to like 1200 degrees per second, which is what Farouk published as his rates. Many people came to the comments to say that you do not need ultra high rates to Sbang. Sbang is a style and a feeling and an approach. It doesn't have to be high rate. In fact, there were some really interesting examples of some relatively low rate kind of juicy, flowy Sbang. So I'm going back to something that is closer to my standard rates. My normal rates are about 900 degrees per second. But what I've done is I have removed the expo. So we'll get a little bit more of a linear curve, and that's going to make it easier to do snappy moves with small movements of the throttle, which feels like it's kind of, I don't know, Sbang. They say it stands for stick banging, but does that necessarily mean you have to go full stick every time? I guess we'll find out today. And the move that we're going to work on today is an invert. And with Sbang, one of the things that they say you should work on is doing inverts and stopping with the horizon level. Because they'll do like a 360 roll, but halfway through it, they'll stop in the middle and kind of lock it out. So, I mean, I'm not going to spend a whole video just trying to do 180s. Because I can do them both to the right and the left. Do you think that's not true? But I want to focus on getting a clean horizon where you can really see the horizon. If I'm pitched too far forward, when I invert, I'm looking at the ground. And that, it feels like a lot of Sbang, for me as a viewer, is the relationship of the horizon and the quad. That you'll see that horizon sort of moving and rotating, and if you're pitched forward when you do that, you're not going to see that. You're going to just see the ground, and that's not really what you want. It almost feels like Sbang is flying the horizon. So let's get a clean. And then the other thing that I've heard about Sbang is that you want to cross-coordinate your rolls. So this is going to be more pronounced the more up tilt you have, but if you only move the roll stick, then any up tilt you have affects. See how I'm looking at the ground there? I showed you that already. But if I put in opposite yaw, it makes it rotate smoothly and stay axial, right? And it keeps that the horizon centered as I rotate. Whereas if I just were to use only roll, I end up looking down at the ground. So you're going to want to cross-coordinate, or I'm going to be trying to cross-coordinate, which I always do that a little bit. I've trained myself to always put just a little bit of cross-coordination in on my rolls. But a lot of times on snap rolls, you won't do that. And I've noticed something about what that does if you pause in the middle. Check this out. If you just stop the roll but not the yaw, you get this really cool sliding effect that is, I don't know, I kind of like it. There it was. That was it. All I did there was just stop the roll but leave the yaw exactly where it was for a fraction of a second. That looks so freaking cool. Into a tree. Now I'm going to keep working those ejects that I worked last time, so I should not give up on those. And keep working these inverts as well. Now it doesn't feel like they do. See, what I'm doing is I'm doing snap to 180 and then snap back out. But when the Sbang pilots do it, it feels like a pause in the middle. So it's like it needs to be smooth throughout. So I'm doing fast, slow. They don't do it fast, slow. They are all the way around the same speed with a pause in the middle. That's what I'm doing wrong. All the way around the same speed with a pause in the middle. That's maybe more like it. I watched some more examples, and I think one thing I'm doing wrong is I'm going too fast. I'm doing it too snappy, and I'm thinking of it like it's a speed and not a flow. A lot of the examples that I've seen, the actual turn itself is not that fast, but there's a distinct pause in the middle. Let's see if I can do that. Okay, here we go. No, don't go fast, go slower. Uh-huh. I think it doesn't look as good to leave the yaw in. That was okay. Yeah, that was fun. I'm not stopping. That's what you got to do. I'm not stopping, I'm holding it in. There we go. That's Is that it? I don't know. That's a float. I don't think we're doing a float. It doesn't feel like a float. Like a float is... I'm just going to fling myself on go to low throttle. I'm going to hold it as long as I can and ride it out. It can't be long enough to feel like a float. It just has to be a slight pause. And the speed coming out has to be the same as the speed going in. So if you change the speed, it doesn't look like one continuous movement with a pause. It looks like two separate movements separated by pause. And it has to be clean. See, I'm doing like little bits of wiggles. I have to get a clean float. So where's a time when I would do like a clean horizon, level. See, I didn't get enough counter-yaw in there and it was angled down toward the ground. Nope. See, I need to put in enough opposing yaw to bring the horizon into view. That raises the horizon by putting that yaw in. It's probably very subtle in the stick overlay, and I'm not sure everybody could probably see it. If I just roll by itself, I end up looking at the ground. But if I put in opposing yaw, it changes the angle of the quadcopter and keeps the horizon in view so that we get that nice spanginess we want. I noticed something else, and that's the way that at least one pilot, who I'm not going to name, gets them so snappy is that they literally release the stick. I'm not okay with this. I've seen pilots do that. Number one, these little wobbles that it can get when it goes back to center, that makes your quad wobble. It's just You should never let go of the stick while you're flying. I mean, it could be snappy, but I don't like it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna keep working it. It's so not snappy. Does it need to be like that? Does it need to go full stick? You're not pausing. What if I release the stick like that? Huh. It's dumb. It's a lot sharper. Is that what they're doing? Are they releasing the stick? Surely they're not releasing the stick. Just don't believe that releasing the stick can possibly be the right thing to do. Alright, I'm kind of annoyed that this isn't quite going the way that I want it to go, and I can't quite figure out why, so I'm just going to try something else. We're going to work on rewinds. What's a rewind? A rewind is where you do a move and then you do it backwards. So the classic example would be a split S, and then you come to a pause. You want to come to a real clean pause, and then you would kind of matty out of it. So we split S, and we flip out of it. Now it's better done with an obstacle, but I'm just trying to demonstrate the principle. And to me, what makes a really good rewind is that pause at the bottom. It needs to be a nice, clean pause at the bottom, like sharp and crisp. And that requires some throttle management. You have to get on the throttle a little early, and then you have to like find that moment where you're paused, and then boom, hit out of it. The cleaner it is, the better it looks. Now, rewinds don't just have to be the, like this is the split S to a Matty is an okay rewind, because you literally can rewind that move. You can literally just come back around and do the other way. But rewinds can also be done kind of like with feels like a fish hook to me, or a J hook. And for these, I think it's more of an illusion, because I don't think you are literally going back on the same path. And I've even seen folks do them where it looks like they're kind of doing a barrel roll, which doesn't make any sense, because you can't rewind that. It doesn't seem possible. But that's what you're going to want to do. You're going to want to go into a move, and then find that point on the throttle. So you got to kind of lean into it to be able to stop it, and then come out of it. Anyway, so let's try and put some of this together and do some flying. Rewind. And eject. Eject. And rewind. Let's do a little rewind off the flagpole. I just don't feel like those pauses are that good. We could do rewind. Rewind off the corner of the house. When I hit this house, it's not going to be good. Rewind off the corner of the house. I'm getting too close. Slingshot backwards. That's interesting. Oh, that's kind of fun. So what if I come around here, rewind off the house, and slingshot backwards? That's kind of cool. I like that. Oh, that was close. See, why does that not look spangy? Tell me in the comments if you know, because like when I do the eject, I feel like it's not like the mostest, but it has a little bit of that feel. And when I do that just feels like a roll. It doesn't feel like that spangy. I don't know. Okay. I don't know how to come out of that. I want to come off of here. Rewind there. Eject. Well, that was more fun than the last freaking half hour. So there's something to be said. Alright, we're back. It's tomorrow. We're going to give it another try. I'm tempted to try changing my rates. I'm also tempted to try stiffening my springs up a little bit on my gimbals to see if having them pull harder to center will help with those sharp stops. I don't know. I'm just going to get a couple more packs, I guess, and see what happens. Whenever you think, oh, my equipment is the problem, it's probably you. You give Mr. Steele or you give Alex Vanover any quadcopter in the world, and when they fly it, they're going to fly it like them. It's going to look like them. They're not going to be like, oh, I can't do these things because the rates aren't right. I mean, not that rates or setup doesn't make a difference, but mostly it's just about you and your fingers and the sticks. Okay, here's what I'm going to work on. I may not get the horizon perfect every time, but I'm going to stop solid each time. I'm going to stop for one beat and then continue. I'm going to work on the rhythm. Hey, get out of here, goats. Go away, goats. Go away, goats. Don't be. Okay, I was not looking at the horizon there. I need to put more yaw in. See, I think I'm too wiggly. I'm making too many little micro adjustments. It has to freeze. It can't slow down. There we go. It has to go back to center and freeze. It still looks like two separate things instead of two matching parts of the same thing with a little pause in the middle. I don't know how to make it sort of string together. don't know what I'm doing wrong. Well, now it's starting to rain. I really hoped to be able to give you guys a little bit more substance to today's video than this, but that's how training is. Every day can't be a day where you try something new, you succeed beyond your wildest expectations, and then, you know, some days you're just going to grind at it and feel like you don't go anywhere. If you have any suggestions for my inverts, my pauses in the inverts, I'd love to hear them down in the comments, especially if you actually like fly Sbang. Maybe they're going to look fine as soon as I go to editing, and it's just because I'm in my own head that I feel like they don't look right. I don't know. There's a playlist which has all of the videos from this series in it. I'll put a card on screen and a link in the video description, and as the series goes on, hopefully you'll be able to see me progress, or you can go back and check out earlier episodes that you might have missed. I'm going to get my stuff in before it gets wet. Happy flying, you guys.